Hello and welcome to Friday's second edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Crossword video earlier, of course, with it being Friday. And welcome to a more normal length edition of Cracking the Cryptic as well. I don't know how many of you have managed to catch up with what happened on the channel yesterday evening when we released the longest video that's ever been on the channel. 5 hours, 16 minutes, 37 seconds, I think, something like that. In which I had a go at Marty's finale from this puzzle here. The big one. The final rat run puzzle ever. And I mean, well, it took me 5 hours. It took a very, very long time. I don't know how many of you will have been able to catch up with that video. Or even would forgive me for the length of it. But what you must do, if you have any love of puzzles, is to try that puzzle, because it's an extraordinary thing. And however long it takes you, I think the satisfaction you will glean and the amazement you will have on the journey to solve it, your life won't be complete without it. There was a wonderful comment I was just looking at before I turned on the webcam. David Z says 13 hours. And I can't imagine a better way to spend the time. A truly amazing ending to a truly amazing series. Honestly, the world feels different knowing it's over. That's a feeling you only get with the best of stories. Isn't that lovely? I mean, Marty must be just so made up with the response to what he's created. Anyway, I've digressed. Yesterday's video, check it out. I'll try and remember to put a link to the screen. Oh, and I need to just do a quick shout out as well for the winner, because I mentioned that if anyone could guess the correct length of the video, I would shout them out. And Simple Man was very nearly correct. Guessed 5 hours, 15 minutes and 17 seconds. So was only out by 1 minute, 20 seconds. It's phenomenal. I hope you're not spying on me somehow, but Simple Man, well done on correctly, or just about correctly, guessing the length of the video. Anyway, how do you follow up what happened in Marty's puzzle? Well, we're very fortunate today, because I think we do have, a worthy follow-up. It's the return of Kaktuslav. Kaktuslav is one of my very favourite setters, and Kaktuslav's been on a bit of a break for the last couple of months. There haven't been any new Kaktuslavs, which is a great loss to the world of puzzles. But yesterday or the day before, Whispering Dominoes emerged. And you've already emailed us and told me, yes, we must have a go at this. Apparently it is brilliant. It's got one of the shortest rule sets I've ever seen in a variant Sudoku puzzle, but apparently it's absolutely mesmerizing. So this is what today's video is going to be about. Let's hope it's a little bit shorter than 5 hours, 16 minutes. Do I have anything to mention apart from about Marty's puzzle yesterday? Don't know, over on Patreon we've got all the normal stuff. Oh, and we are closing in on 700,000 subscribers. We're really very, very close. It would be something of a milestone for us. So if you do enjoy the channel and you're not subscribed, please do think about it. Of course, it's free to subscribe to a YouTube channel. It's just a click away, and it helps teaches the algorithm that these incredible puzzles that we get to solve each and every day are worthy of a wider audience, and I just think that's true. Anyway, now, because what happened was I actually solved Marty's puzzle on Wednesday, intending to release it on Wednesday evening, but of course then it took 5 hours 15 minutes, and the size of the file was so enormous, and my internet speed here is so antediluvian that it just never got close to being uploaded by 8:30. So that I've released the puzzle, I released that video yesterday evening, and therefore didn't include birthdays in yesterday's video for people who'd asked for a birthday announcement yesterday. So I'm a day late for some of these birthdays. I do apologise to those of you who are hoping for a birthday announcement on the actual day. Anna, I'll start with an apology to you. Your friend Alex D, friend and colleague, I think, wrote to me and told me that he'd given you, I think, from what I could gather, I think it was James Sinclair's Sudoku book as a present. But Anna, he said something I thought sounded very profound and rather beautiful. He wanted me to tell you. So these are his words. Our whole life is Sudoku, and we are the threes in the corner, which I thought was rather lovely. So Anna, I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. I hope there was some chocolate cake and many happy returns. Now, next, over in Dusseldorf, Lucas, it was your 23rd birthday yesterday, and I know this because your girlfriend Lisa wrote to me. I think she got you into Sudoku, but you've since both become addicted to things like Rat Run. Why not? And I think you've been together 8 years, and she doesn't know a smarter person. That's a nice thing to say as well, isn't it? And I think she's making you cheesecake, which she doesn't even like, for your birthday. So I hope you enjoy that, Lucas. I hope you enjoyed that. Many happy returns. And then the last birthday I missed was for Malva, who turned 26 yesterday. And I know this because your partner, August, wrote to me. I think Malva is Swedish for mallow. And August told me, Malva, that you spread so much love for life and for puzzles, that the world is basically a much better place for you being there. So you sound like my sort of person, and I hope you had a great birthday yesterday, and I'm sorry that this message is a little bit late. Now, I'm not late for the following birthdays, which are today, or at least I think they are. Benjamin, you've turned 30 today. Your partner, Domichele, wrote to me. So I think I did Domichele's birthday a few days ago. And you've got rabbits or bunnies in your house, and apparently they watch the videos too. So, Benjamin, many happy returns on turning the big 3-0. And then last but not least, Ian, you've turned 41 today. And I know this because your wife Jane wrote to me and told me that I think you put on a video once the kids are in bed. You make a cup of tea and you sit in front of a video of an evening. And so when Jane hears the sort of music from cracking the cryptic, the theme music, she knows it's time to relax. That's great. Ian, many happy returns. I hope you can find some chocolate cake with your cup of tea. That's all the news. Shall we have a go at some solving? Let's have a look at Whispering Dominoes by the great Kaktuslav. What do we have to do to solve this one? We've got normal Sudoku rules applying, so we're going to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Totals of orthogonally adjacent cages differ by at least 7. Okay, so whatever that is, that one has to be 7 different from it at least, and that one has to be 7 different from it at least. That is a very unusual rule. Okay, I was wondering whether... hang on. Well, okay, I was wondering 2 things. Could you repeat a digit in a cage? But I've just realised all these cages are just straight lines, so normal Sudoku rules is preventing that. But there is another rule. It says no 2 cages have the same total. So we've got to make sure all the cages are different. So if that one added up to 10, no other cage could add up to 10. That's it. They are all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, so hang on, let's just think this through. Every cage... I should have probably explained what orthogonally adjacent means. It means shares an edge with. So these are orthogonally adjacent, but that one is not orthogonally adjacent to that one. They differ by at least 7. So the maximum size of that is 17. And the minimum size, I suppose it could be 3, couldn't it? If it was a 1-2 cage. What about the bottom row? 15 would be the minimum there. Is it the secret? I mean, the secret is something I share with only my very favourite people, but if you're watching this video, you're definitely one of my favourite people, so I will share the secret with you if you don't know it already. The secret of Sudoku is that any complete row of a Sudoku, because of the rules of Sudoku, will contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. And if you sum those digits, you get 45. So I know that row adds up to 45. But if they added up to 15, they could add up to 22 or more. They could add up to 22. 22 and 15 is 37. So that could be an 8. But I mean, it doesn't have to be. It could be 15 and 23. Or 15 and 24. And other options as well, I suspect. There are a lot of 2-cell cages in the puzzle. Hang on. Let me just think about this for a moment. What's the maximum size of that cage? Because that is next to a 1-cell cage, so that could be a 9. So the maximum size of that is 16. So the maximum size of this 5-cell cage, no, sorry, no, it's not the maximum size at all. But oh no, it's really difficult because that could still be 24, and then that could be 15, for example. Oh, no, hang on. I don't understand. All right, I'm going to go back to that other thought I had. How many 2-cell cages are there? There are a lot, actually. Can I double-click? Oh, I can. Oh, that's good. Actually, it's not going to help me, but you can double-click them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So is that a complete set? The lowest you could have in a 2-cell cage would be a 1, 2. The highest would be an 8, 9. So that's all the numbers from 3 to 17. So I feel like that is 15 different numbers. Is that wrong? 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, it is all of them. Okay, so there are... Right. Okay. So what we do is ignore that in a way. So what we've just learned is that these cages here there is one for every possible two-digit combination in Sudoku. So one of those is a 1, 2. One of those will add up to 4 and be a 1, 3, and there will be a domino summing to 5, a domino summing to 6, all the way through to a domino summing to 17. And that means all these other cages in the puzzle, of which there are 5, have to have totals that are not 3 to 17 inclusive. Now, 2 of these cages are single-cell cages, so they must be a 1, 2 pair, and they must be different. So, okay, so now the maximum size of that has dropped. Or sorry, no, that's not even true. The minimum size of it has dropped. Oh, if that was 1, that could be an 8 cage. And then that would have to be more than 15. How do we actually get a grip on this? That's at least 15. That is 1 or 2. And this is 7 different from both. But it's at least 7 different from both. So I still don't understand why that can't be an enormous total. Have I? Oh, hang on. Hang on, but 17 is no... hang on a moment. Right. All of the digits, all of the numbers from 1 to 17 are not available. So both of these are at least 18. That's interesting. So 18... Oh, that is interesting. Yeah. So let's go back to thinking about the secret. Because now we know that these cages, one of them could be an 18, but that's the least it could be because 17 and lower are not possible. And then the other one has to differ from that by 7 at least. And it's going to have to be more, isn't it? Because if it was less, it would go into the 1 to 17 bucket again. So the absolute minimum value of these two cages is an 18 and a 25, which is 43. Yes, 43, which would make the corner digit a 2. But you could presumably have 18 and 26, and then the corner digit would be a 1. But okay, could you have... Okay, one of these cages, this one or this one, is 18. Because if the lowest of these two cages was 19 plus at least 7 is 26, and that gets us to 45 for those cages without including this digit, and the row would be broken, the secret wouldn't work. A concept so ridiculous. It just is not going to be... It's not going to be working. So one of these is 18. Oh, so is it that one? Because if this is 18, that's a 3-cell cage. That can't add up to 25 or 26. The maximum could be 7, 8, 9, which is 24. Right, so this is an 18 cage, and this cage is either 25 or 26. And do I know whether those... I don't know whether... I was wondering whether I have to know whether those digits are the same or not. But I don't think I do. I mean, these are miles away from 7 different from 1 or 2. Because the constraint in the bottom row is actually really being applied by all of these, the myriad of the 2-cell cages. And we've still got a 4-cell cage. That could be a 30 though, couldn't it? We definitely haven't had one of those, and we were not going to have one of those in the bottom row. So, how do we do this then? Is it something to do with... This is a 1 or a 2. But that doesn't... All you know about this cage, and I suppose this cage, is that they have to be at least 7 different from 1 or 2. So they're sort of... They could be as low as 8, but as much as 17. Here's a thought. How could that work? I'm wondering whether the title is relevant here. Whispering Dominoes. Why has Kaktuslav called it Whispering Dominoes? I'm not sure. But I am a bit interested in that thought because well, normally, of course, whispers in Sudoku, if you're new to Sudoku, you won't know what I'm babbling on about, but whispers lines are typically German whispers lines, and the digits along German whispers lines have to be 5 different from each other. And here we haven't got that. We've got 7 different for cages. But okay, but just to go back to that thought, one consequence of a 5 difference in the digits is that you get this oscillation of the... So if this digit was low, this digit couldn't also be, when I say low, I mean lower than 5. This digit couldn't also be lower than 5 because these couldn't be 5 apart. So what I'm just wondering is, has Kaktuslav, is there an equivalent of 5 if you get 2 cell cages that have to be 7 different? Do they have to go low, low, high, low, high? I don't think they do, because a 10 cage, one of these cages is a 10 cage, and that it's almost like a Dutch whisper digit. It's like a 5 in Dutch whispers, because it could go with 3 or 17. Okay, so well, hang on. Let's imagine that there was no 10 cage then. That is interesting. So imagine there is no 10 cage in this puzzle at all. Then you would get oscillating cages. What do I mean by that? What I'm thinking of is a 3 cage. And then the cage next to the 3 cage has to be at least 7 different from it. So if there was no 10 cage, it would be an 11 cage or more. But even a 17 cage, that would have to be a 9 cage or less. So you could group the cages that added up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and know they were always adjacent to cages that added up to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, or 17, because you would get a pinging backward and forward of the sort of the size of the cage. But here it's going to be more complicated than that, isn't it? Let me just think about that, though. Well, okay. That's really interesting. Hang on a moment. Let me just think about it. Oh, this is beautiful. Right. How on earth do I explain this? This is so weird that a title has given me an idea, and I think this is important. Right. So, what we've just agreed, what I think we've agreed, and what I've tried to explain, is if there was no 10 cage in this puzzle, every domino would, let me just show you what I mean. Every domino, let's make that a green type of domino, so that could be low or high. But we know it would be, if there was no 10 cage, it would be next to 2 of the, let's say this was lower than 10. These would both be higher than 10 sums. And this would be a lower than 10 sum, and this would be a higher than 10 sum, and this would be a lower than 10 sum. And what would that be? Uh-oh, that couldn't exist if there was no 10 cage in the puzzle, because it would simultaneously have to be lower and higher. It would have to be lower than 10 and higher than 10 at the same time to meet the criteria that it's next to both of these cages. So that implies, I think, that in this ring here, there is a 10 cage. And why does a 10 cage matter? Let me try and explain that. So a 10 cage matters because if you had low, high, and let's say I popped in a 10 cage here. The effect, let's have a colour for a 10 cage. Let's have dark blue. So this is the 10 cage. So we know that whatever this is 17 or 3. This will be the opposite colour to that. And now see the polarities working again now. It's oscillating again. The rest of the line is oscillating. So what this is so cool, because I'm about to make it even cooler. And I've never been cool in my life, but what Kaktuslav has done here is cool, because so we know that in that ring around the rosy there is a 10 cage. There must be, but it's the same pattern here. It's the same pattern. I just Oh, it was when I just did it just then. So if those were purple, these would be green, for example, and this one couldn't be filled. So that means that there must also be a 10 cage in this lower ring. So this lower ring features a 10 cage in one of its dominoes, and this upper ring features a 10 in one of its dominoes, which means one of these three is this magnificent 10 cage. Yeah, okay. Okay, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. When did we do? Rocky Rower came up with an idea a few weeks ago that had the most amazing idea at its core. But this is a bit like that, because now we've just said one of those three cages is a 10 cage. What can the 10 cage be next to? It needs to be a cage that's 7 different, at least, from it. So 3 and 17 are the only options. That cage is next to 3 different cages. This cage is next to 3 different cages, so neither of these two can be the 10 cage. That is the 10 cage. This has to add up to 10. And therefore we know the digits on either side of it are one of each type of polarity, and hopefully now, yeah, we can just, well, firstly, we can do this, we can do the rings, but then we can start to go further, because that's going to be green, that's going to be purple, that's going to be green, that's going to be... So, this is so ridiculously clever. It is so ridiculously clever. No. Okay, so one of those is a 1, 2, and one of those is an 8, 9. And the 10 cage adds up to 10, so it's not 1, 9 or 2, 8. So that's 3, 7 or 4, 6. So it must be something to do with the 1s and 2s, I think, because the rest of it is almost symmetrical except for that thing. That is the only cage. No, I was suddenly wondering, are there a different number of higher than 10 and lower than 10, but there aren't. They're the same number. So that one, but that's the only domino that only touches one other cage. If this was low, these two would be a 1, 2 pair, and these would have to be... They wouldn't actually have much pressure on them, actually, because these two would be high numbers, i.e. higher than 10 totals, but without using 1s and 2s, where you wouldn't expect them to have 1s and 2s in them. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so we're not quite there yet. I understand a bit about this, but oh, that was an 18 cage, wasn't it? Okay, well let's try and work out whether there are other cages that are different, because surely the cages that are close in value to 10 are also difficult to place, because 9 needs to have... the problem is that could be 9, couldn't it? 9... I don't know. The problem is, yeah, okay, let's imagine 9 was not in that cell, in that domino. Then 9, we know the rest of the dominoes are next to at least 2. They have at least 2 borders. Some of them do have 3. That one has 3. That one has 3. That one has 3 because of that one. That one has 3. Yeah, that does have 3. Yeah, loads of them have 3 borders. So, oh, yeah, it's going to be something to do with that, I think. Right, so 9, we need totals next to it that are at least 7 different from 9. So we're going up, and we're going to 16 and 17. And then if we go the other way, 11 could only be next to 4 and 3. This is very, I don't understand. So what's causing a problem here? This must be something about the geometry that's different one way or the other. How is the geometry disturbed? Because otherwise it's sort of symmetrical, or that's how my brain is trying to interpret it. I think it might be to do with how many 3 junctions there are. How many dominoes? I feel like that domino might be important because that's touching 3 greens. This is touching 3 purples. This is touching 3 purples. And these 2 we already know. So there is a mismatch, isn't there? There is a mismatch. There's only, of the dominoes we haven't labelled, there are 2 green dominoes that touch 3 purples. So if, or actually, hang on. So whatever colour I choose, whatever colour purple is, it's not allowed to be in that domino. Now, does that matter? I can't quite grasp it. I'm so sorry. It's probably obvious, I think. I say that. I'm not sure it is obvious. It's not obvious to me at all. It feels very opaque to me. I'm trying to see my way through it and I'm failing. So, hang on. So a 9 domino has to be next to 2 high digits. So an 8 domino would have to be next to 15, 16, or 17. So 8 dominoes. So 8 dominoes. Does that mean they work or they don't work? I can't quite visualize it. I'm trying my hard. Oh! Wait. Right. Okay. So a 9 domino. A 9 domino. Yeah, I've got it. I have got it, I think. I think I've got it. I think I can ask an easier question, and this will get this is, I think, true. Right. Here's the question. Can green be low? I think that is the question. or is it? Now I think this feels right. Although I am not certain, actually. I thought I could see it, but now I'm not so sure. If green is low, though, here is my question. I've now got to deal in green with difficult to place dominoes. Particularly, I want to think about 9s and 8s. Now, if green is low, this thing is high. So this is a whopping great 17 domino. Now, where are we putting? Where are we putting 9 now in this puzzle? Which domino could be 9? 9 has to be next to a digit that is 7, a cage that is 7 different at least from it. So it's got to be next to either, well, the point is, it must be next to, if it's in the ring, it must be next to 17. It must be. That must be true, because there are only 2 digits that it can possibly be next to, and they are 17. Have I got this wrong? I think it's right. The only dominoes it can be next to are 16 and 17, and we know that's the 17. So one of these would have to be the 9. But that can't work, because if one of these is the 9, it's meant to have 3 dominoes that it can be next to, all with different totals, and there are no, that doesn't exist. So what happens there is the 9 would have to be here, and this would have to be a 16 total, because it can't be 17, because that's there. So we're in this world, with this adding up to 9, but now we've got a different problem. But it's just as fundamental, because now we've got to deal with 8. We know this is the 9 cage, this is the 10 cage. The 8 cage, what are its options? The 8 cage, the only cages it can be next to are a 15, a 16, and a 17. But we know it's got to be next to hang on, this might be okay, actually. Yeah, this might work, mightn't it? I'm not sure now. I'm not sure whether my logic was found, because now it's occurring to me that I could... No, it doesn't work. I am right. I keep changing my mind about whether I'm right or not. I think... Okay, certainly the 8 cage couldn't be here or here, because the 3 options available to it are not there, and it couldn't be here either, could it? And it couldn't be here because these 2 can't be from the 15, 16, and 17 options. So the only place the 8 could go would be here, and this would be a 16 cage, and this would be a 15 cage. And that might be fine. But maybe you've got to think about it through again then. So then you'd have to think about the digit 7. And 7 could be next to 14, 15, 16, and 17. So where would the 7 go then? It's going to be on the ring, so it has to have 2 neighbours that are possible. So it would have to go here, wouldn't it? Because this is going to be a 15. Let's just say that's 8, 7. It can't go here because it needs two. It's got 14, which we've not placed, but it needs one other from this section. So it can't go there. Sorry, it can't go here because these two wouldn't work. So it could go here. It can't go there. So it would have to be. It can't go there because these two can't be satisfied. It can't go here because these two can't be satisfied. So it has to go there. And this would have to be a 14 cage. And is this going to keep going? Maybe this is correct then. That would be a 14 cage. So let's just say that's 6, 8. It doesn't matter what type. It's just to keep track of this. And then the 6 cage, wherever that lives, would need to be next to 13, 14. So that could be a 6 cage. That couldn't. There aren't enough freebies. That couldn't. There aren't enough freebies. So this is the 6 cage. This is a 13 cage. It's amazing, actually. So this is 13, and then you'd have to put the 5 next to 12 or higher. So that wouldn't work. This would be the 5, and this would be the 4. That's amazing. So this looks... So that hasn't helped me. Has it? Or has it? And what? Oh, that was the 9. That was the 9 cage. Yeah, that's what we had to remember at the start. That was the 9 cage. Then it went 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And these cages sort of get lower as they go round. So this would be a 12, and that would be an 11. I mean, but why is that right or wrong? It's just going to work. It's just going to be symmetrical the other way round, isn't it? So something. Ah. Oh, you're a genius, Kaktuslav, and I am not. It's really obvious. No, I mean, no. Oh, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, but it's not what... It is sort of what I've been doing. It is sort of what I've been doing. But I've now understood it. This is the whole point. Oh, this is gorgeous. It's these silly things, isn't it? Yes, it is. Because do you remember when we were thinking about how this must work, we worked out the only way that could work this way. This is the wrong way now. This is the wrong way, but not for the reasons I was understanding. We worked out this had to be the 9. We worked out this had to be the 8, and then there was a cycle going round. But the point is that this one had to be the 7, didn't it? This had to be the 7. It was the only place it could go. But it also simultaneously has to be 7 different from that 1 cell cage. And of course, I mean, it gets even worse down. Oh no, that one's not touching purple. Yeah. So okay. So let me try it. Let me try again. So this is definitely wrong. This is definitely wrong. But let's try and distill that logic down to something pithy, just so that we can really understand it. So if this is the high pair, we then know that green is low numbers, and the most difficult number to place in green after the 10, which is after the sort of, is 9. 9 can only be next to 17 and 16, but so we could never put it here because that's got two neighbours besides 17. We could never put it here. Could never put it here. We can never put it on the ring at all. It just won't work. So this has to be 9. And then we have the problem of 8. 8 can be next to 15, 16, and 17. But this has become 17 in this paradigm. 8 could go there if this was a 1. That would work, but it can't take these two dominoes because this one is the 16 domino. So 8 can't go here. So the only place 8 can go where it's going to be able to be next to neighbours that it can actually shelter is here next to the 16 and here next to a 15. But then finally you get the question of 7. Where do you put 7? And 7 needs to be next to, well, effectively, it needs to be next to 2 of these. It's going to have to go there where it can't go. So it is the other way around. I mean, this is total genius. This is absolutely total genius. And now we're probably going to have to run this algorithm again in the other direction. We get a 1-2 pair here. What do I mean by the other direction? What I mean by that is, how are we going to make this work with 11? Because 11, if it's on the ring, has to be next to 3 and 4. Now, the problem with that is this is the 3. So, but if we put it in either of those, it's got 3 neighbours, which it can't have. So it's the same principle. This has to be the 11. I don't know how to record that. That's got to be an 11 cage. This cage, therefore, has to be a 4 cage because it can't be the 3 cage. So that is a 1-3 pair. This is bizarre, isn't it? And then we ask where the 12 cage goes then. So the 12 cage is going to have to be next to cages that sum to 5, 4, or 3. So there's only 3 options. So again, we can't use these positions next to the 3 because they have too many neighbours that aren't including the 4. So the only place you can put it is here. This is the 12 cage. Is that going to work? Yeah, that's a 12 cage. This has to be a 5 cage. And then we keep going with this. So 13 is going to have the option of also being next to a 6 cage. But also, hang on, if this is the 5 cage, 5 cages have to be next to 12 cages or more. So I suspect this has to be a 13 cage. But that's, hang on a minute, let me just think this through. The 13 cage has to be next to cages that are 6 or lower. And it's definitely on the ring. And the cages we've got at the moment that are 6 or lower are those. So it can't go there, there, or there. They all have 2 neighbours that are... Hang on, let's just be careful, Simon. It's the green cells, Simon. It's the green cells. If that was... Yes, if that was 13, it has got... It could have a 6 cage next to it, but it can't have 5, 4, or 3. So that's impossible. That needs 2 neighbours, so that's impossible. That needs 2 neighbours that are none of the correct, so that's impossible. So it does have to be this one. This is the 13 cage. And that can have a neighbours of, it can include 6. This must be a 6 cage. When I say it can include 6, in fact, it must include 6 if it can't include 4, and it's only got 3 and 5 next to it. And then we think about, presumably, next we go up to the 14 cage, which can also include a 7 in its neighbours, as well as everything that we've already labelled. So here, there wouldn't be any. So 14 is going to have to be here. because it's only got one of the low cages as well as the ones we've already labelled. So it can't go here because it would need 2. So this is the 14 cage. It's quite complicated, this, and I'm not sure I'm doing the most brilliant job of expounding it in the most sort of concise way, but I'm doing it in my way, and hopefully that's enough. Now that can be next to a 7, and that's going to have to be next to a 7. So then we've got 15 and 16 left. So this is going to have to be 15, isn't it? Because again, 15 only has access to all of the ones we've already labelled, as well as 8. So if it was here, it wouldn't have enough, it just wouldn't work. There's not enough options. And this has to be 8. So this is 6. Well, this is 16. I can do 16 cage. That's got to be a 7, 9. And then this is going to be a 9 cage, actually. So that is the ring around the rosy. That is how Kaktuslav somehow has... I mean, the guy is a total genius. It's amazing. This idea is amazing. Now, okay, let's do some options. Oh, well, okay. That's a 15 cage, but the bottom digit can't be odd, because the only way you can make 15 in Sudoku land is 6, 9 or 7, 8. So these are going to be from... Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. They're going to be... That's going to be a 6 or an 8. That's going to be a 7 or a 9. Oh dear. I'm not... Okay, the 14 cage is either 5, 9 or 6, 8. Oh, 5, 9. It's not... Or 6, 8. Sorry, the wind's just got up and it's banging all the doors in the house. Now, this is a 13 cage, but we don't know what the nature of the 15 cage is. If the 15 cage was 6, 9, this would be 5, 8. That seems possible. And if this was 7, 8, this would be 4, 9. That's immensely distressing. So the only thing that can't be is 6, 7, much to the chagrin of school children everywhere. Okay, there's a 9 cage here that isn't 1, 8 or 3, 6. So that's either 4, 5 or 2, 7. That's not 7. So that's not 2 because of this 7, 9 pair. Golly, it's not easy, this, actually. A 5 is either going to be... It's either going to be 1, 4 or 2, 3. Okay, that's interesting. That means that between these two cages, or those cells there that I'm flashing, there is a 3 used. Because if this is a 1, this is a 2, 3. And if this is a 3, there's a 3 used. So this 12 cage is not 3, 9. That's 4, 8 or 5, 7. Golly gosh, I'm going to end up labelling everything here, and it's not going to be... Right, this 6 cage is either 1, 5 or 2, 4. Um, 5, 9, 4, 8. I'm so sorry. Is this obvious, or is it more obvious than I'm making it? Probably is. The 8 cage here hasn't got 7 in it, so it's not 1, 7. So it's either 2, 6 or 3, 5. 2, 6 or 3, 5. What does that do to the 7 cage? If it was 2, 6, this couldn't be 2, 5 or 1, 6, so it would be 3, 4. And if it was 3, 5, it couldn't be 3, 4 or 2, 5, so it would be 1, 6. Oh, whoopsie, it would be 1, 6. Right, so actually that's weird. Those cells there then definitely include a 6, I think. So I said if that was 2, 6, obviously there's a 6 in here, but if this is 3, 5, that has to be 1, 6. So there is a 6 in one of those, and that's an 8, and that's our first digit. Good grief, that's taken me ages. So this is now 7, because that's a 15 cage. Oh no, is this not doing anything? Oh, it's done something to that. That's not 5, 8 anymore. So that is 4, 9. Okay. So that's probably bad. Is it bad or... no, that is good. That is good for this cage. Gosh, it's still being beautiful, this puzzle. That can't be 5, 9 now. Because if this is 5, 9, that's a 4. And you can't make the 6 cage work because it couldn't have 4 or 5 in it. So that's actually 6, 8. Which I can do. Right, so that one's 6, that one's 8, that's not 6 anymore, so this isn't 1. The 10 cage, which was the genesis of all of this, is now not 4, 6, that's 3, 7. So in the row, I haven't put 4s and 5s in. So this is now a 9, because there must be a 4 or a 5 in this 6 cage. It's either 2, 4 or 1, 5. That's a 4 or 5. So those 3 cells contain the digits 4 and 5, and therefore that can't be a 4. So that's 9. That's 4. Now this isn't 4, 8. So that's 5, 7. This 5 cage has to be 2, 3 now. Can't be 1, 4. So this is a 1. That's a 3. That's a 3 by Sudoku, so this isn't 3 and this isn't 4. Come on, this is getting exciting now because we might be able to do this if I can just have some sort of sensible idea. Oh, if I can, that would be nice, wouldn't it? 7. There's some 7s in those dominoes. Look. So this can't be a 7. So just to explain that a bit more fully, if we look at these 2 columns of the grid and we ask a facetious question, how many 7s are there if we correctly complete the Sudoku in this column and this column? And hopefully you will tell me there'll be 2 7s because there's 2 columns and there's 1 7 in each column. But we've just noted there's a 7 in that domino and there's a 7 in that domino. So there are 2 7s. The 2 7s that exist in these columns are actually in that domino and that domino. So there can't be more 7s. Like if this was a 7, there would be 3 7s. So that's a 3, that's a 7. By Sudoku, there's a 7 in one of these, and we can use exactly the same logic to rule a 7 out of that cell. So this is a 7. So that puts pressure on the 11 cage, which is now not 4, 7. Okay, not very much pressure, but it is true. Oh dear, don't know what to do. What on earth? Oh, I've got a 1, 2. I've never seen this. I've got a 1, 2 pair in column 6. So that's not a 2. So that's not a 6. And that is a 3. And that is a 2. So this isn't. Oh, this is good. So this isn't a 2, which means this isn't a 6. And now I've got a 3, 5 pair in my 8 cage, which means this is 1 and that's 6. This is not 1, so this is not 5. This is not 5 anymore. So that is not 4. This is a 5, actually. It can't be a 7. I should have probably seen that earlier, but I didn't. Now in this row, what have we not put in? 2. That's a 2 here, just by Sudoku of all things. So there's a 2 in one of these and a 2 in one of those. So this is now not 2, 9 either. So this is either 3, 8. I think I'm going to remember it's an 11 cage. It's either 3, 8, which would be 3 on top of 8, or it's 5, 6, which would be 5 on top of 6. Look at row 3. I haven't put 6, 8 and 9 into row 3, and that digit can't be 6 or 8, so that's 9. This, where's 6 in the row? Oh, that's great. That's great. Where's 6 in the row? It's there. So that's 5. That's 8. This is now 7. That's 5. That's 7. That's 9. That's 9. That's 8. We've almost done all our domino. Oh, we might be able to do them. 3 and 5 go in. How do I do these 1s and 2s things? How do we do that? No clue. Oh, I know how we do. I know how we do something. That is an 8 cage. And that's got to be next. It's got to be 7 different from this. So that can't be a 2. So that's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 2. This is now a 2-4 pair, not a 1-5 pair. Which means this is 5, 5. This is 4. This is 2. That's a 2 by Sudoku. This is actually going now, isn't it? 6, 7, 8. That's an 8 by Sudoku. It sees 6 and 7. This is a 6, 7 pair. That's a 2 in the corner. So that's 2, that's 4. And oh, so now we know the totals. We worked out that was an 18, didn't we? So that's 20. So this is a 25 cage. Let's sort of put that in the corner if we can, like that. Maybe column 7, 3, 5, 6. Yes, where's 6? That's good. Column 9, maybe 3, 5, 7. Yeah, that's a 7 then. This is a 3, 5 pair. So we get. We can do this. 5 goes in the corner by Sudoku. These digits are 1 and 7. So these digits down here are 9 and 4. What do we need in box 1? 3, 4, 9. So we can do the 9 and the 3 and the 4. Okay, so should we try column 1? 1, 3, 8. That's a 1 then. C's 3 and 8. So this is a 3, 8 pair in the bottom left-hand corner. Chance of a 3 in the corner. These digits are 2 and 2 we can place. 2, 6. So these digits are 1, 5, 8. Put the 5 in, and the 1, and the 8. Lovely. So these digits are 4, 6, 9. A Sudoku at least seems to be working, which is a relief. And we haven't got the 2. Oh, where's 1 in column 3? Sorry, that's been available probably for forever. And we need to put a 5 in. And that makes this a 5, and this a 3. And this cage added up to 18. So that's a 4-9 pair then. Doesn't seem to be resolved, but it is a 4-9 pair. Oh, we are going to get 3 in the corner. And we get it there. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Okay. So those digits then are what? 6, 7, 8. Oh, neither of those can be 7, though. Oh, so 7 is just placed in the row. So this is a 6, 8 pair. And these 2 digits, or these 3 digits are 2, 4s and 9s. So the 2 is placed. This is a 4 or a 9. Still not quite done, are we? I'm sure we are. It's probably Sudoku. Maybe column 6. I'm not sure. 4, 6, 7, 9. So that digit is 4 or 7. 6, 7, 9 there. Oh, it's probably this, isn't it? I haven't even thought about this cage for ages. Right, what's the... Oh, I know what it'll be. It's going to be that one can't be the same as other things. So what have we got? Depends what this is, of course. So we've got 19 plus this digit, so it could be a 20. 25. No, I made that one 20. Oh, it's lovely. What a lovely idea. Right, so the idea here is that this cage here, if this was a 1, by the secret, those digits sum to 20. By the secret, therefore, this would be a 25 cage, but this down here is a 25 cage. So that's two 25 cages, which we're not allowed. So that has to be 7. That has to be 1. That has to be 4. Therefore, that's 4. That's 9. That's 4. That's 4 by Sudoku. That's 9. That's 6. That seems to be true. This is now a 9. Let's do the maths on this row. So we've got 26, so this should be 19, and that's going to be a 1-8 pair, which it looks like it wants to be. And that gives us an 8 and a 6, and a 6 and a 9. And that is as good a puzzle. That is such an amazing puzzle. Wow. What a return to form from Kaktuslav. Not form. I mean, it's not that he's lost any form, but what a return. That's a better way of describing it. Just utter genius setting. Fantastic. I was a bit slow to understand how to determine which way round the loop went. But when you get it, it's just wow. Fantastic puzzle. Fantastic. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.